In my last video, we talked about what the purpose of the autopsy in your writing is for. Now we're going to talk about how to write the autopsy itself. And this obviously takes some learning, takes some technique. You have to understand what the rate limiting portions are here. Are you the rate limiting step in your lack of knowledge about the autopsy? Or maybe you know very in-depth detail from experience about autopsies, but the limiting step is your writing ability. Maybe you've never tried to write fiction to include this, so you have to kind of assess what your margins are, what are your limits, what needs to be developed, and what do you need to, push versus stay safe on. Cliches happen, that I think are worth avoiding. The quote, usual Y-shaped incision. I get sick of reading that phrase personally, the usual Y-shaped incision. Just say they made incision or they made the Y incision. Is an incision even going to be Y-shaped? It's not Y-shaped everywhere in the world or at all places throughout history. The Y incision is actually a relatively modern invention. So know the details to at least some degree of how an autopsy would look, as we mentioned in the first video, and then what level and extent of detail are you going to give in this? Are you going to be cliche? Are you going to focus on smells and spattering, things that are there to kind of shock the reader, assuming they're uninitiated and that they won't have a stomach for it, or that they're going to find it scandalous or scintillating? Or are you going to be more technical about it because maybe your character is like that? Their personality is passionate about the work, disinterested about the human side maybe, and so they're very analytical and you're going to write it very analytical. Or are you going to try and find a blend of the two that, navigates the realism of the procedure, gives some tactile component to it without using cliches, mention the flow of things, and then how are you going to pace it? Because you have to decide between those levels of detail and the amount of discovery that is occurring in the autopsy, assuming that these dissection details are necessary. In my next video, we'll talk about not writing the autopsy that you need in the story.